Good morning. Hey, I'm adding a second tank into my system here, and I thought this would be a good time to just give you some tips if you're installing rainwater tanks. And it doesn't matter if it's plastic, stainless steel, galvanized, with a liner, without a liner. I think these tips will apply. The first thing you want to do is give yourself a cushion in case the tank settles. And you can see here the outlet is pretty low to the ground. And I actually had to dig a hole to install this gate valve because of the height of it. But I'm leaving that hole there because if the tank settles in an inch or 2 inches or something like that, I mean, if I didn't have this hole here, that would basically right on the top of the ground as the tank went into the ground, and this whole thing would start bending up, created opportunity for a breakage. So just make sure you got clearance for settling. Also doesn't hurt to have something flexible in the system. Like I'm going to connect these two tanks, but I'm using this intake pipe from a gas water pump. Anyway, it's got some flexibility to it, so I'm literally just going to put a 2-inch nipple on there, and then just got these ends here. Anyway, Tractor Supply has these. Anyway, it just screws onto a 2-inch nipple. I'm going to get a Schedule 80, a plastic one, just like you see on the back side. Anyway, going to screw it to both sides of it. That's a flexible connection. They can both settle independently of each other, and you're not going to have a rigid pipe where it's going to break. Anyway, so that's important. Add some flex into your system. Number 2 is your overflow. In this case here, you don't have, you buy the tank and it has the intake pipe here, but if you can look here, you've got all this wasted space where there's not going to be any water. Well, you need to factor in an overflow, and if you look at what I did here, this is the overflow. So as the tank fills up, it's going to back up. The water's now going to get pushed up here and go out here, and you can actually take it back out in the ground and trench it and put it wherever you want to come out. In my case, I'm going to put it into a swell system. But the same thing when I go down, I'm going to have one of those rubber connectors that's, they're 4-inch diameter, maybe 6 or 8 inches long, got a stainless steel clamp on each end. I'm actually going to have that here, giving me that cushion in case it settles, that I'm not breaking that pipe. But looking at what it's doing, the water's going to go out here and drain out. When it's all done, it's going to drain out, as far as that can drain, which is the bottom of that pipe. So that bottom of the pipe, if you transfer it over, is now going to be the height of water in your tank. And it's okay for water to store in here. I mean, as my intake here, it's a screen fitting that's angled, so debris just kind of flings off. Once in a while I'll pull it off and clean it off. But water, so mosquitoes, mice, nothing like that can get in the system. So it's okay to glue all this stuff up and keep it, and basically this will store water up to this point. So there'll be water up to here, water up to here, and water up to here. But that's going to gain you several gallons of water. Also important that your overflow is as big of a pipe as your intake. So this is a 4-inch pipe coming in, and this is one of the biggest mistakes. Like, you can go to Tractor Supply and get a big black plastic tank, but the intake is 2 inches, not 4 inches like this. And as much roof area as I got on my black plastic tank, it's just very hard to fill up because the pipe is just not big enough. So go as big as you can on it. Like I said, this is 4-inch. The exit is 4-inch. If your exit for some reason was another bung fitting that come out of here, if this is 2-inch and that's 4-inch, you're only going to have 2 inches of water coming out. You're going to get an event where it's going to push it out, try to push it out of the top. I mean, technically you can maybe even take your roof off. Just 2 little tips on rainwater tanks. Hope that makes sense to you. Y'all have a great day.